Alrighty. Welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Less Non-Classics. This is episode number 2298 and double number 2192. Now, we're definitely discussing two DC trades here, but this thing you might find interesting. The first trade here, this is the first trade discussed for the series in 4 years. Really? Yes, really. The last trade discussed for the series was Volume 1. Yep, Volume 1. That actually is Volume 2, this is cursed. This here is Volume 1, which is known as the Pentacle Plot. This book in particular collects the first 3 issues along with issues 5 through 8. So this book in particular, I've discussed the first 13 issues of this short-lived series. How long was it? 25 issues. Really? Yeah, really. Now, why? Maybe little sales, maybe they wanted to... Basically, in case you forgot about the Shadowpact, this is a creation of Bill Willingham. The cover, you see the cover, you have Detective Chimp, the Beautiful Enchantress. This is Blue Devil, Ragman. I know it has Nightshade. I think it's Devil Slayer, I think his name is. I think it's Devil Slayer. That's the rail. Oh, it's Nightmaster. Yeah, that's who it is, Nightmaster. Of all these characters for this book, Blue Devil, I believe, is a creation of Jerry. No, not Jerry Conway. He actually first appeared in Fury of Firestone back in the 80s. He's a creation of Dan Music, Jerry Cohen, and Paris Colas, who designed his belt. Detective Chimp is a creation of John Broome and Confantino. Confantino, if you forgot who this guy is, this is the guy who created Reverse Flash. And fun fact, this character is one of Neil Adams' favorite characters. How do I know this? He told me it. The Enchantress, created by Bob Haney. Yeah, Bob Haney, as also the creator of Metamorpho and the Teen Titans. Yep. Also, Howard Purchell was another one who created them. Nightmaster, of course, is a creation of Danny O'Neill and Jerry Gunn. Nightshade, Steve Ditko created this character with David Keller. Yeah, she first appeared pages of Captain Atom for, I think it was for Charlton Comics. Ragman, who is a creation of Robert Kaniger and Joe Kubert, the father of Adam and Kubert. There's also Warlock's daughter, who is the Bill Willingham creation, which is the only character he created for this book. The other character is Zarelli, who probably appear a little bit later. Created by Grant Morrison, Mark Millar, Howard Porter, and John Dell. They are two are not in this issues per se. No. So, yeah. So basically, in these issues in particular, as you can see, yes, Enchantress is wearing this outfit. This is not her original outfit. It's her 2000s outfit. Now, for the first issue of this book, which is probably the opening issue series, this is actually, first couple issues are drawn by Bill Willingham himself. Excuse me. He does the opening 2 issues. 3 is done by Cory Walker. 5 is Steve Scott. 6 is Cory Walker as well. 7 is Tom Durank. And 8 is Sean Muckmix. So mostly put with these issues, we have a guest appearance by the Phantom Stranger, an old character who is still around this day. Though in the reboot continuity, the name Judas Iscariot because they never really identified who the heck this guy really is. So we have a guest appearance by Superman, the Man of Steel. In this first story called Death in a Small Town, most of the Shadowpact are there to deal with supernatural threats. If you think about it, the Shadowpact are pre-Flashpoint Justice League Dark. That's literally what they are. Except here's these books are back in 2006, concluding 2008. Justice League Dark was never launched until 2011. I mean, the only commonality both teams have is the Enchantress part of the first volume and the Enchantress part of the second volume for the series. So they investigate this stuff, and they're here basically, like, Superman's only here for the opening issue, and most of it with various stuff over the course of these issues. Now, issue number 5 is basically the 1-year time skip. Plus, I'm a big fan of basically 2000 style artwork. Yeah, DC has some really good artists that period of time. Now you're thinking, do I have a problem with this artwork? No, not really. It's actually not. It's a bit lower key, but yeah, usually DC have pretty good artwork. Mostly put the opera in the shadows. Nightmaster. Sometimes they actually have their own headquarters. Well, basically it was a bar. Also, Madame Xanadu pops in issues. Yes, Madame Xanadu. Yeah. I like Just Like Dark, where their headquarters was the House of Mystery. That was the first one. Second one was Hall of Justice. Shadowpact was headquartered out of a bar. Yes, a bar run by Nightmaster, which he did exist in the current continuity, but he was killed, and Detective Chimp took over for his role for him and took his sword. Yes, he took Nightmaster's sword. Yeah. Yeah. So the headquarters in the Oblivion Bar. Which I'm glad that they brought this bar back for the current continuity. Yeah, in my opinion, it was a really smart idea. Yeah, I think it first appeared in the opening issue of this book. I'm just going to check it out. Oh, it actually his first appearance back in Showcase number 82. That was basically the first appearance of this thing. Yeah. So I have 3 residents: James Rook, who is Nightmaster, Chimp, and Eddie Deacon. You're thinking, who the heck is Eddie Deacon? Well, he's a character who is Danny New character they said I'd throw in here because he's, well, why not? Probably to pay respect for him. Bullion Bar itself most appeared in this book in particular, almost the entire series. It appeared sporadically. Yeah, it did appear in Just Like Dark Volume 2 because the Detective was based in, so it appeared in pretty much almost that entire volume except for like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. Basically most of that volume it did appear in. And if you're curious, what was the most race appearance of this bar? That's a real question. It was probably not Satana. No, not Satana. I think it was Justice League 71. Yeah, that was probably the most recent appearance of this bar. And that was only just a year ago. Yeah. But for the opening trailer for this series, it is really good. I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Also, there's this other group in the back. If you're curious, who the heck are these characters? Well, let me find out for you. Excuse me. I think they're a villain group. They're known as the Pentacle. Yes, the Pentacle. And they're only here just for opening 5 issues. They're led by someone named Strategija. Strategija, who actually I cut off later. She's a Bill William character. Here's Jack of Fire. Sister Shadow. Bagman. Yes, Bagman. White Rabbit. No, nothing to do with the character who appeared post-Flashpoint. Yeah, post-Flashpoint version, nothing to do with this character at all. Not really. Yeah, the post-Flashpoint version is completely different. It's a woman. And as for, there's also Carnival. All these characters are creations of, how should I put this? They're creations of Bill Willingham. and a couple of them are deceased, but they didn't die after the opening story arc. No, they didn't. Other characters got killed off. Basically, all the characters, all members who are deceased prior to the end of the book, they got killed off either with like a year or basically at the end. Mm-hmm. And you might be curious though, do they appear again post Flashpoint? In a reprint book. They appear in Swamp Thing giant sized book. Yep. But that's pretty much basically the group in a nutshell. Just really fun. I love the Shadowpact. When I get my hands on our books? Possibly. If you're curious, where did I get this book? I got it from Ollie's. I think it was Ollie's, I think it was. No, I think it was, wasn't Ollie's. I think I got this from a comic shop in Dade City. Next up is a library book. Well, we have War of the Superman. This is the epic finale for New Krypton Saga. I have not reviewed the Mon El sub. I'll review that later when I get a chance to hand the books themselves. This book, written by Sterling Gates and James Robertson, art by Eddie Burrows, James Ingle, Eduardo Presigo, Kafu, and Bernard Chang. The guest stars of this book are, yes, fill in the blank guest stars we have Julian Lopez, Aaron Lipsey, man, I'm a really nice guy. Dave Finch, Madam 2, Joe Williams, Ethan Van Sciver, Gary Frank, Dustin Eves, and Vanity Kafis. The cover art, which is not, you can't see, I'll show it when I show issue 1. Eddie Burrows, J.P. Meyer, Rod Reese. Yep. Now this book contains the entire mini-series for War of the Superman issues 0 through 4 and Superman 700. Now, War of the Superman. Believe it or not, there's actually a comic book set during this mini-series. Yeah, there's an issue of Outsiders. When I think it was... I'm trying to remember. I think it was Dan D when he wrote the book. He had the book set during this event. War of the Superman is simply put this. Zod is invading Earth. Yep. He leads the Kryptonians to invade Earth. Of course, Superman turns his back on the Kryptonians. Well, basically, Zod's shooting away. It's not these old people. So they invade the planet. And it's an all-out war. Like, we have, like, this wonderful fill-in-the-blank stuff. This is, well, basically splash pages. Basically recapping kind of what some of the stuff happening here. Jimmy's going to be alive. That's being apparently dead but killed by a codename Assassin. So, they publish this stuff where they get hands on Project 771, which is General Lane's project. Reactron dies in this miniseries. Oh, yeah. They kill off several characters book. They kill off Reactron. Though he's not the only one. Oh, no. Not the only one. And, of course, Nightwing, Flamebird, Superboy, and Steel. Crypto help out, too, to stop the, well, General Jaws troops. And I think also they killed off Supergirl's mom. Yep. She gets killed off in this miniseries as well. But she's not the only one. Oh, no. Then we have Superwoman going after Lois. Yes, Lucy is going after her own sister because she dared publish, like, you're not worthy to say Daddy's name, Lois. Lois. Yep. And, of course, basically, they actually, like, I think I'd say it's a pretty good sculpture. Inside, smashed up. So Superboy leads a raid on General Lane's fortress. Yeah, and it's massive brawl. Everybody thinking, is there any more deaths in here? Well, we have several Kryptonians get killed by being sucked up by Big Red's sun. Yeah, we have lots of deaths in here. And I do mean a lot of deaths. It's like basically the writers basically knew this book. Then we have Heroes of Earth getting involved in this thing. We have Black Adam who's smashing the Sphinx. We have Frankenstein's monster. Even the Great Ten. The Great Ten are basically Chinese Justice League. We have the JSA getting involved, which is so fun. Yeah, then one of the Kryptonians kills... it's Ursa. She kills somebody. I can't tell who it is who she kills off here. Let's see. Because there's massive amount of deaths in this show. Oh my gosh, there's deaths. I thought it was issue 2, I think it was. So in issue 2, they kill off Reactron. Actually, issue 1, excuse me. Reactron and Supergirl's mom. In issue 3, you curious with more depths? Yeah, they kill off Flamebird. Yep, Flamebird dies. In issue 4, well, yeah. So after basically all the massive attacks, they have Superman defending, well, the Daily Planet, while Supergirl battles Ursa. Of course, Superman battles Zod by himself. It's like, Zod! It's like, now find me, Lois. Zod! Yep. And Supergirl fights Ursa at the footsteps of the fucking White House. Yes. It's like, fight, fight, fight. We even have, basically Zod's forces take on the Justice League. Yes. Take on, well, Cyborg, Starfire, the Atom, Starman, Dr. Light, Congo Bill. Yeah, actually I think it's Non. Yep, Non's taking them on. But then they're stopped by Superboy, who sends them back to the Phantom Zone. Yep. And then something really stupid happens here, because Lane thinks he's a patriot by thinking, oh, he's going to be against the Kryptonians. Of course, Zod's going to kill Superman. And then Lane does something really stupid. He kills himself by putting a gun in his mouth, thinking he's a patriot. Like, oh, he'll die for his cause by putting a gun in his mouth and firing and blowing his brains out. I'm like, seriously, DC, why the heck would you do this for? Yeah, and then of course Zod and Ursa stay by the Phantom Zone. After everything's all wrapped up, some of the Kryptonians are dead or trapped in the Phantom Zone. Mon-El's there too because of having a Superman book. And then basically 700 is basically, well, they only have one story for 700 in here. And you're thinking, really? They have one story for 700 in here? Yes, just a story called The Comeback, which I think is just the opening story. Yes, Grounded was collected in the first volume for Grounded. Geometry was not collected here, per se. Not sure why, though. Probably because, basically, it's a story for Superman and Robin. Yeah. So, yeah, so you have Lois being chased by the Parasite. Yes, the Parasite. Oh, it's been a while. So, yeah, it's basically kind of get back to normal because all the Kryptonian stuff happening. Nice way to end it. Though, I will get my final thoughts on the main portion of the saga. I won't talk about the Mon-El stuff a little bit later. But this whole war stuff. Okay. The book is about giving a 9 out of 10. The only criticism that I still have for this whole entire saga is the writing of General Lane. Yes. He is written to be a complete dick. Like, the worst. It's like basically the way that the writers wrote in this period of time, from what I can tell. It seems like he is basically based upon common fictionalized versions of the military, where they're like, basically where they talk down to people, where they think they're better because they got freaking guns! And they can shoot you! And they have all the power. That is how General Lane is written. In post-Flashpoint, he's actually much more decent of a person. As a matter of fact, gets along great with Superman because he's married to his daughter, and the fact he gave him a grandson. Lucy doesn't do very much in the current continuity. Not really, no. Yeah, and I do appreciate though that they put the opening story of 700 here. It makes total sense because it's an epilogue. Yes, the opening story of Superman 700 is an epilogue. And it's written by James Robertson. Geometry, which is a Jan Jurgens story, they didn't put that in here at all. But isn't it weird though for 700 where only 2 out of 3 stories are collected? And yet the rest of the book is not collected at all? Yeah, that's just... I don't really know why. It is one of the most baffling things related to DC. Now, the War of Superman was fine. I had no issue with the event at all. Now, if you're curious, how long has it been since the last issue came out? If you're really curious, that was 12 years ago. Yeah, 12. I was just, like, I got into comics, reading these comics, like, fully, like, 5 months after this. I read this after this event came out, like, about 2 or 3 years later. When I got the Superman, I read this stuff here, but the War of the Superman, I think that the storyline makes sense the way it was. And my guess is that the reason why that Zod was the way it was, where he just turned to Superman after the last of Krypton wrapped up, because, well, it was time for him to go back to be a villain. Excuse me. I'm sure DC had more plans for Superman coming after this whole event, whole saga wrapped up. But Dan DiDio had to screw the writers of DC over by rebooting the universe. It was all him. Yeah, he got a lot of blame for a lot of the bullcrap DC went through the last decade. Before he got fired. About 3 years ago. Because Warner Bros. Was doing some slashing of people, slashing people's positions at DC. Yeah. A guy who hated legacy characters. And he really wanted and apparently he wanted to do this for about a few years. And there are some decisions basically that I do agree with him on. Like, from what I've read from interviews when he got fired, he had a very good eye for talent. He hired some of the best writers and artists in the industry. It's some of the writing decisions basically people criticize him for, like trying to kill off legacy characters. He hated the concept of legacy characters, not just psychics. Yeah, I'm not just saying about it, but that's already for another time. Okay, so that's episode of you. I'm going to quickly do one more video and call it a night. Okay, next video. Bye.